Titles, go.
Porch Pirates.
6 tiny Grogus.
Like room temperature butter.
23 flavors of root beer.
Irish Santa?
100,000 foot overview.
Black mayonnaise.
Toilet gaming.
Santa Jubes?
Reeks of Christmas.
I'm sorry, Dan.
Sofa King.
So are you paying?
Helen Mirren's a dude?
Grandma's Nutcracker.
For once, I'm happy he had a
Perfect.
thing. All right, let's do this.
Warning. What you are about to hear contains explicit language, adult themes, and potentially disturbing content. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and do not reflect the opinions of anyone else, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. This podcast is intended for an immature audience and should not be listened to by anyone, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. You know, fuck it. You've been warned.
Hello, welcome to this week's edition of Geek Pod. I'm your host, Paul.
I'm Hugh.
Corbs.
Neolithic Kev.
Jack.
Guys, what's got you geeked?
Well, I told you guys about this a few weeks ago. I forgot to bring it up on the show. I'm just really geeked about my new knife. I have a global 8-inch chef's knife. Finally went and dropped $100 on a knife. And I picked this one because years ago, Anthony Bourdain famously said, all you need for just about anything you're going to do in a kitchen is an 8-inch chef's knife. He was basically complaining about how guys would come into his restaurant and they got these big folds with these knives. And he's like, there's nothing wrong with that. But really, one 8-inch chef knife from Global, and you can do just about everything you need to. And I never forgot that. And after years of buying knives that were okay, just kind of good, I'm like, I'm going to do it. I want to have a good knife. And man, I got to tell you, this thing, I can put it on a pepper. I was slicing peppers tonight. And while I'm used to making a little bit of emotion, I can put it on a pepper and just press down anything and just press down and it slices through it like it's soft room temperature butter. It's amazing. We had fajita bowls for dinner. I went from slicing raw meat to peppers and onions, and it just performed beautifully. About the only thing about it, I don't like, and this is just because it's an 8-inch chef's knife, it's hard for me to scoop up and put things in a bowl as I'm chopping. I have a Serbian chef knife, which is like really thick, and that's really good for that kind of thing. But I'm not sure I'd want to because I've cut myself with it twice, and both times I did not feel it and didn't even know I'd cut myself until maybe a few minutes later when I looked down at my hand and I'm bleeding. Like even after it was going, I still couldn't feel it. Amazing knife. And I know it's stupid that I'm excited about a fucking knife, but there you go.
Is that so? It's an impressive knife, and you showed us the sharpener and stuff. And I know we joked about it, but I actually thought it was pretty cool. The other knife you're talking about, is that like the pseudo cleaver style?
Sort of, yeah. It's got a curve, and imagine a cleaver, but instead of it dropping down at the end, it kind of goes out and curves.
Okay, I have seen
and it's
those.
made of like a darker metal, black and silver. Sometimes they call it Damascus steel, which isn't really a thing, as I understand it. But those are nice. You see them advertised on Facebook all the time, and I picked one up, and I really do like it. It does keep a decent edge, not as good as this knife, but it's really good when I have to chop lots of stuff and transfer it to a bowl. Like if I'm making soup or something like that, then I'm going to grab that because I'm going to be doing a lot of chopping.
Outstanding.
That's cool.
Huh. No, what's honestly got me geeked, it's pretty simple. The holidays are right around the corner. So it was kind of cool. Like I woke up Sunday morning and we get older and we get up earlier for things because we want to be the first one there. And I don't want to stand in line. I don't want to deal with that shit. So I know Hugh likes the artificial trees, but I still go the real tree route.
Coward.
I got my real Emily and I picked up my tree. Got a new tree stand because the tree stand shit the bed last year. Tree stands, maybe it was just because it was right there, but 40 fucking bucks for a fucking tree stand.
Wow, because artificial ones just come with something.
Right.
You
Mine
don't
was
need a
right in the
tree
box.
stand.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No, but it was kind of cool though. That you're looking for your tree, and then like Emily's never really done that before, so it was kind of nice to take her there. We went to-
Never? Like her parents never? Wow.
Never. Next year we'll chop down the tree, but we went to Hafner's and picked out the tree. But like I was like, where are you going? Like we went inside and she was looking for a Christmas ornament. I was like, okay. She was
Aw.
looking for a good hour. And like I said, we get there early so she can do whatever she wants. So like she finds this it's in these pictures. I think I sent it to you guys. This was an Irish Santa Claus. So it was a Santa Claus. If you scroll through all 4 pictures, like there's like an Irish Santa Claus. So she's like, I want to give this to you for your tree, which is really nice. So it was kind of cool decorating the tree with her because like I have some of my grandparents' Christmas ornaments, my parents' Christmas ornaments. She wanted to know what the stories were behind them. So I have some like ornaments from like the 1920s. So like I have some like really old ornaments so I can tell her the stories. My mom gave me her choir people. Like I came home one day this week during work. I was like, what are these? She's like, well, we're getting older now and I want you to have things of meaning, she calls it. So like, so it's kind of nice to like, if you ever see my house around the holidays, I have my wreaths up. I have about like 5 of them. Like I don't go all Christmassy, but it's like classic Christmas. It's not like throw up on a house, but you just like, you have your wreaths up, you have your spotlight, but I have like some all sorts of Christmas ornaments up at the house. So it looks really nice. So you also saw the train. I'm a big kid at heart. So it's the Polar Express train. So it actually makes the whistle noise. And Thomas the Tank Engine was one of my favorite TV shows when I was a kid. And I always said to my mom, I was like, let's get a train around the Christmas tree. She's like, you get your own house, you get your own train. I'm like,
Ah,
I'm like, fuck yeah, okay. I'm getting a train. So like literally one of my first purchases was I bought $100 fake train, but it was actually a really awesome
Oh,
train.
well, why didn't you put a real train around your tree? I mean, for authenticity and stuff. Have the rail workers come in, build the track for you, hire
the
somebody to
Fayetteville
drive it
segment.
around your tree. I mean, you want to be authentic, right? You don't want anything to be fake, Jack.
Whatever. 1 year maybe, but this was kind of cool though. We assembled the train together, but it was neat. So just getting into the Christmas holidays though. Well, when you walk right through the door, reeks of pine, so it's a really good smell. So getting ready for the holidays and taking her to see Alice this weekend to see the Dickens characters and wrap up all the presents. And my Christmas is about done. I'm ready for it.
Few weeks early.
Hey, Jack,
I finished my script. What's up, Hugh?
I
What?
was going to say, just a suggestion, don't ever use the word reek to describe a positive or good smell. That's usually negative. Like if you go to your girlfriend and go, you reek of that wonderful perfume, it's not going to go over well.
That's why I followed up with Eureka of awesomeness. No, but yeah, like it will be nice though. I believe it or not, I've been done Christmas shopping since early October. I just had to get ready to
Nice.
purchase it.
no, I don't believe that a bit. No.
Look what you want. I like to be done early.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
I know you are, but I'm
my
done.
my problem with that is, and it's not a problem with you, Jack, is it just in
No.
general, because
I
we've
know
done
you're
the same thing. We try to Christmas shop early, and then it just means I keep fucking buying more. Like
Mm.
we're
Because you're a
done,
dumbass.
and then it's like, oh no, that would be cool, and you add that on, or then your friend needs 6 fucking tiny Grogu's or something, and then you just keep going on and on and on.
It sucks.
What
Like
does that
that's
have to
why
do with
like
anything?
literally no, I like you're right because like you finally push send and then I wanted that one thing. I'm like, fuck. But no, like you just like set the limit and then know when you're done. So I get it for sure. Probably when I have children someday, I think I'll be like, yeah, I'm not even done to Christmas shopping. Like this Christmas segment, they're like, Jack, is your house done? Fuck no, haven't even gotten started.
I'm actually gonna put Christmas lights up tomorrow before I leave for the airport.
No, there you go.
Mhm.
Right?
So
We normally get our tree right after well, the Thanksgiving weekend normally, and then whatever reason it didn't work out, so we're kind of behind the 8 ball on that. But we went back to real trees a few years ago. The fake one we had was just shit, and it was either buy another fake one or go back to real. And real supports local economies, and the one thing I learned when I went to environmental college is that trees are our only renewable resource. So you should support the people that grow them and keep planting them. So it's a wonderful to have it in the house, and it goes to a good cause when we're all done. It goes to feed animals. So we donate ours to people that give them to their goats or whatever. I don't know what the hell they do with them, but they don't just go to a landfill.
I do.
So, no,
I donate mine when I'm done.
but no, the holidays are big for us. Kathy loves the holidays, so it's all happy and holiday like around here. So even though the sheriff's deputy stopped by the other night, and we've got a package thief in Mexico. Yay!
I was
They're
like,
all
what
over the
packages?
city.
The one thing about being a small village is everybody knows who it is, and they're on their tail. So
I got an alert on my ring just about an hour ago. Somebody had a picture of a guy carrying a package, walking down the street in a hoodie. Apparently, he was walking behind the UPS truck, and as soon as the guy left, he was jumping up and grabbing packages.
what the fuck?
It's awful.
People are dumb, and I was asked, hey, if I see this person walking around town, should I take a picture of them? Should I call somebody? I'm like, no, you walk the fuck away. Because
do not get involved.
If somebody is out doing this shit right now, and this day and age, and they haven't seen the news, Facebook, Twitter, etc., or they have seen it and they're not thinking about it, they're on something. Don't fuck with these people, because you don't know what the hell's going on in their heads. You don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, they gotta know that every other house they're going to has got cameras.
Yeah.
So just do not confront these people. Do not even let them think that you know who they are. Just walk the fuck away. So yeah, there was that. But
I just don't get it. Why do people have to like ruin the holidays for some people? Like last year, like on my starter tradition, I want to do it every year. I like to go to the Children's Hospital for Golisano. I like to read them like stories during my lunch hour for a couple days. And literally my boss is like, yeah, that's great. Let's post that on social media and we'll get that good for our department. I'm like, I'm not doing it for publicity stunt. I do it for goodwill, and it's good. She's like, oh yeah, right. And I'm like, fuck you. I don't get it. But that's your segment, Kev. I
Now,
want
if we can get those porch pirates to read stories to the kids in the hospital, there we go.
I can
to
arrange
pay them.
that.
Yeah.
I can arrange that. When they come to my house, they'll be in the hospital.
Yeah, if somebody tries to steal one of my packages, I'm absolutely confronting them. I'm grabbing the weapon I keep right by my front door and beating the shit out of them.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, let's grab that knife. Goes right through the butter.
I wouldn't want to stain that knife with the blood of an unworthy human. I have plenty of other edged weapons I can use, but I wouldn't. I'd probably grab my cane.
It's best not to advertise
That you're gonna stab a bitch.
exactly what your plans are, but I can promise you this: they will never take another package off another porch.
Yeah.
That's
Would they not have hands to do it? Is that what you're getting at?
He didn't say that. Say it.
Well, that's another reason I like shopping done early, because like what you guys just said, you're afraid. Like my sister had a friend. She ordered a bracelet for her mom. They'd say it delivered, took the picture, and it wasn't there.
Yeah. You know what's another? You know what this is? This is us hashing out reasons why it's good to shop local.
Yes.
There are so many places, there are so many things going on in your local community. There are so many places, so many great people doing great things. Just look around, look at what's available, and it's a good reason to go visit those places and spend some money there. Like I said, Kathy and I, we like to shop at local places. The tree nursery we go to is local. They've been growing trees for years now, and it's a good feeling too. So there's no chance for anybody to steal it off your porch if you go and you pick it up yourself.
This is very true.
Very true.
All right.
Happy holidays.
Yes.
Is that what's got you geeked, Kev?
It
Porch
is.
pirates?
I mean, I love this time of year. We got some stuff going on at work too that I can't really talk about, but just some growth stuff that we've got going on. It's really, really cool. Stuff that I kind of knew about. Paul and I work for a law firm, for anybody that hasn't picked up on that before. I know you guys know, but What's great to know about the place we work for is one of the things, and I was told this not in confidence, but in this is general knowledge. Our law firm has no debt.
Nice.
So
It's better.
That's a huge thing to know about the business you work for, because you see them growing, you see them constantly hiring, and it's a really, really good feeling to know that they're growing because they really want to, they really need to. They're not need to because they need the more money. They want to because they want to get into more areas, they want to do more, they want to be bigger, they want to, they just want to expand what they already know and what they already do well. And when you get involved as IT, you get involved with some of that stuff and you start to hear about that. It's like, wow, this is really great. I haven't really worked in private that much. I've always worked, the majority of my career has been for state government or federal government back when I was in the service. But it's different. It's a different dynamic, and it's really, really cool. And it's really great to work for a company that, that is growing and that shares that with their employees. So there's some really good things going on. So there's that. I'm happy about that, and then I'm happy about the holidays. So I got a lot of good stuff going on in my life.
Nice.
Look at that. All good stuff. And I've got to agree with the sentiment here. It's gotten to that point where it's time to get into the spirit, and we're getting close on our shopping as well. Spent the entire day Monday out of town with my mom. Did our yearly shopping trip. That was a lot of fun. We had a blast. She was psyched because she just about finished everything. Midday, all of a sudden, I'm getting accused of having COVID. Kevin, I obviously wasn't at work, and he just texted me and said, "You got the vid?" And I'm thinking, what fucking video am I supposed to have? What's he talking about?
That video.
I just spent hours with you. I want to make sure you're not fucking ill.
I almost did say, did Matt tell you? Just to fuck with you.
Sick move.
No.
He was still hungover from Saturday. Leave him alone.
No, I popped right back up Sunday. We put the trees up and everything. That's I think it says a lot about me.
Used to
That
it.
couch
You're
ate
used
you
to
pretty
drinking
good.
too much.
Right.
That couch ate you pretty good when you're trying to get out. You're like, you can't get up.
That one spot there, yeah, that's always the way it is. So but yes, and again, Saturday was fucking awesome. We had a blast watching the pay-per-view. We had some people who didn't quite understand the allure, but all good things. What, Corbs? No, Corbs was
When do
fine.
we want to get into this? When do we
Not
want
on
to
my
have this
screen.
conversation?
Probably when we want to overtake Corbs' sports section, because it's kind of considered sports entertainment, so that works. So we'll circle back to that.
Corbs,
of
are you
which,
going to
Paul-
take that?
We'll circle the wagons.
Did the Ethernet adapter
I
arrive?
hate
Should
that
have been there
saying.
tonight.
I haven't seen one.
It did say it was going to be late.
Okay.
So by 8:30, it might be on your porch right now, unless somebody stole it.
Goddamn Kev's porch pirates. No, but I haven't seen it yet. So
I'm broadcasting from upstairs. Let me go check real quick.
yeah, he's sitting by the Christmas tree.
Hmm.
Quick, somebody kick him off.
I went back and looked at the pictures of his Christmas tree, and I did see the snowman that he was talking about.
Nice.
Oh, that Santa Claus you're talking about?
Yeah, this is Santa Claus. Yeah, it was the last picture in the group.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did see the train too.
Thank
Are
you.
those nutcrackers on the?
Yep. Those were my grandma's nutcrackers.
And then you got is that a nativity scene?
My dad made that.
Really
Mhm.
nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have a nativity scene that my grandmother got. Now we're talking about, actually I think it was my grandmother's mother, so probably around 1900. So it's pretty old.
Wow.
I'd
So,
say.
yeah. So it's actually my sister's. My grandmother gave it to my sister. So, but she doesn't put it out anymore because of her cat.
Nah.
Her cat likes to knock the shit off the tables and shit like that. So,
Right. Yeah.
Stupid cats.
goddamn cats.
Hey, I read something earlier about cats. You know why there's so many pictures of cats on the internet?
Because
No.
they're awesome.
Is there pussies?
Well, it's because
Those are different pictures.
It's because dog owners actually go outside.
Oh shit!
Well played.
Very nice.
I love my cats. Don't get me wrong. I just thought it was hilarious
Yeah.
and true.
Did everybody get a chance to go? Are we ready to
Corbs
move on?
didn't.
Oh,
I didn't
Corbs.
get- I don't know. For me, it's kind of more of what's got me pissed.
Uh-oh.
See, we knew there was something going on.
No. It's nothing like that. I mean, it's so you guys know about obviously my brother. You know.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know if I told you guys this on Saturday when I saw you, but he got his leg.
Nice. I think it was forthcoming. I don't think it was a done deal yet.
No,
Okay.
he actually
No, you told us because I think you told us because I asked you if it was made out of wood.
Hey, he said
You know-
he got fitted for it and tried
got
one
fitted
out.
for it.
Yeah.
Heard fitted,
He
yeah.
got fitted for it. Now he didn't tell anybody, but the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, he knew that he was getting it. But he told everybody in our family that it wasn't coming until after. He probably wouldn't have it until in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, like right in the middle.
Right.
And we showed up to his house on Thursday for Thanksgiving. We cooked everything here. Cooked turkey. Mom made homemade stuffing, which is phenomenal. Obviously, I told you guys about that last week. But so we showed up to my brother's, and he was standing in the kitchen.
Oh,
That must have been cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, it was quite emotional. Like my sister was there before my mom and myself and my son, so she got to see it first. You know, she was the first one to see it and stuff like that. But my mom really kind of broke down, and so did my brother a little bit. I mean, it was cool. I mean, I'm not gonna say I cried because I didn't. I mean, it's a fucking leg. I always got legs to stand on. I did tell him. I did call him. I did say, Lieutenant Dan, you guys.
Lieutenant Dan, you've got legs.
He's got magic legs.
So we had some fun with that. But so come to find out, my brother has another sore on his other foot.
Uh-oh.
So he went to the doctors on Monday, and my sister took him. Now normally our father will take him, but he won't go into the doctor's appointments with anybody, with my brother. Like nobody goes in with him; he goes by himself. Well, my sister went in with him because my sister will kind of force her way into everything, which is good. She's very good about that stuff. She's very attentive, we'll say. So she was in the doctor's appointment with the foot doctor, which is a family friend. My mom babysat him when he was younger. So now he's the podiatrist that we all go and see. And come to find out, his sore on his other foot is heading towards the same situation he had with the one foot, because he's not taking care of it. He's not changing the bandage every day. He's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. So when I got home from work and took my mom to work, to her job, she told me all about it. So I called my brother and I wanted to see what he had to say. And he basically said, "No, everything's fine." And I'm like, "It's not that fine. I know what the doctor said." And I said, "You need to start changing that bandage or you're going to lose your other fucking leg, you dumbass."
Mm-hmm.
So, but my mom hasn't spoken to him since Monday because she's pissed because he keeps lying about everything. So I've been dealing with that shit since Monday. So, and then I found out when I came home from Saturday from your house, and I got up Sunday morning. No. Yes. Sunday morning when I got up, I found out that my brother bought my nephew a car.
How the hell did he do that?
Exactly.
Wow.
He's been borrowing money. We've been buying groceries for him. Now he hasn't. It's been difficult for him to get to the store,
Right.
and that's fine. We were helping out when we could, but my father would buy groceries for him. My mom would buy groceries for him. So, and we're not talking like $20, $30, $40 worth of groceries.
Right.
We're talking
It's full on groceries.
$100 worth of groceries every other week or every week. And it's $100 from myself and my mother and my sister, and $100 from my father. So it's like $200 worth of groceries every week that we're buying for him. And so come to find out that they, like I said, they bought a car for my nephew. Now my nephew needed a car because he travels back and forth to Delhi for school.
Right.
And his car is on the older side, but they bought it from Jimmy on the side of the road. That's where he got his car from, the first car. We told them to go and see our cousins because they own Fayetteville Dodge. And my brother doesn't want to. And can't figure out why. So they went to, I think my mom said Jimmy's Auto Broker or some crap like that, and bought a 2010 or 2012 car for my nephew. So, and they're paying $300 a month for it, which my brother does not have. So I basically told my mom, I said, I'm not giving him any money anymore. I can't. I'm not working a better job. I didn't get a better job to pay for 2 households now.
Right.
So I'm done footing the bill for him. So I hate to say it, but I just, like I said, I can't afford to do that anymore. So, you know, I love my brother, but he's got to learn his mistakes. So yeah, so it's been an interesting couple of days. So
I can't believe you said foot the bill.
Good one.
That was awesome.
Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, it was good. I like that. But yeah, so it's just it's one thing after another. He's asked for money for Christmas to buy stuff for my nephew for Christmas.
Right.
He's like, I don't have any money to buy him stuff for Christmas, but then you go out and buy a car. So I don't know. It's irritating. That's all. And I hate to be irritated during this time of year. It's irritating
Right.
enough during this time of year with, you know, shopping and all that stuff. I mean, I like the holidays. I love Christmas. I love spending time with my family. I love spending time with my friends. Saturday night was great. Coming over and hanging out with you yahoos. It was great. It's the first time I had watched any type of wrestling in 15 years like that.
Nice.
What happened Saturday?
Or more. So I don't know, Kev. We'll talk about it later.
Oh, okay.
That's it. So
Nice. All right. So is anybody gaming?
I'm still playing the Man of Medan. I was playing it before the show tonight, actually. Still enjoying that. Also picked up the Forest for my Steam Deck because when it first came out, my computer wouldn't run it. But it runs on the Steam Deck just fine. So I've only just started scratching the surface. But for anyone who's not familiar, concept of the Forest is you're on an airplane that goes down on a desert, well, not deserted, but an island somewhere in the middle of the ocean. And apparently you have your kid with you, and when you wake up, the kid's gone. I don't know. I skipped the opening scene because I don't really care. But the idea is it's kind of a survival game in the vein of Minecraft, but with realistic graphics where you can chop down trees to build shelter and fire and all this stuff. But the other part is there are cannibals on the island. There's natives, and at first they're very wary of you, but they get more and more aggressive. And they also come from, there's a cave system, and apparently there's a lot of secrets down there in the caves, and there's an actual story that follows you trying to find your kid if you want to follow it. But you don't necessarily have to do that. You can just, you know, craft, try to survive. There's multiplayer. You can have up to 8 people, you know, on the island together doing this. But it's a very, very cool game. It's very, very highly rated. And I've always really wanted to dive in. So I'm enjoying it so far.
Awesome.
I really enjoyed Hugh's Steam Deck also. It was very impressive.
Like the size of my Steam Deck?
I really like the size of the Steam Deck.
wow.
Yeah, you're
I
gonna get.
like the buttons on it too. It was
You like
fun
the
to
button
play with.
mash. Your
Here's
button
the
master.
thing. You can get something that can play, you know, current games without having to invest in a whole new computer.
Yeah, you know, you're right. You're right. That was very impressive.
And you can play it on the toilet.
Even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how people can stay on the toilet that long. I'm just in there, stop, and then I'm out.
My toilet time is me time. I don't need anything in there with me.
It's just got creepy.
No, but just what Hugh said, not video gaming, but just leading into Kev's gaming segment, board gaming. Proud of the Scattergories I played this weekend on Black Friday. Classic game. Pretty proud to say that it was pretty easy to win that, because like when you have the categories, you roll the dice and then all the categories. I don't know if it was my friend's family or it was just relatively easy. Everybody only got like 2 or 3, but I would get like 10 or 11 every time. So it was pretty fun. So kick their ass and pretty awesome.
Outstanding. Mine isn't anything I'm playing yet, but I have to pick up my next pre-order on Friday. That's Marvel's Midnight Suns that was supposed to come out in March. So we'll see about that in a few months. Seeing as I don't fly back home until Friday, so I won't be picking it up on Friday. But I'm looking forward to that one. I guess it's in the vein of XCOM, if that means anything to you guys.
It means a lot to me, but it's card based too. I'm like, I have absolutely no desire to go anywhere near this game. I hate that shit.
Yeah, I'm I'm very interested in it. I want to see. I'm hoping it's good.
They could have made a tactical RPG that was a cross between XCOM and like X-Men Legends, and that would have been fucking awesome. But they had to go and like, oh, you can pull things randomly from a deck of cards. I'm like, fuck you. If I wanted to play a fucking card game, I'd sit down in person with people and play a fucking card game.
As one does. But I will report back in a couple of weeks, because that's probably the first chance I'll get to even crack that thing open.
I thought you were going to review it and we get a review in March 2023.
That's a possibility. That might be more in depth.
Review? He's got to actually finish a game before he can review it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. April 2052.
Right.
After he retires, maybe.
He's not retiring. He's dying at his job.
Absolutely.
Kevin's going to retire before Paul even thinks about it.
Sooner than later.
There's that.
Kevin's going to retire and go to Montana.
Oh.
Well, I think that brings us right up to Kev's tabletop review.
All right. So this week I have a game for you guys from RPH Games. We talked about one of their games earlier. I don't know, a couple months ago now. Was it at least a month ago? When was it we had the we went to the tabletop convention in Syracuse, Paul? That was September.
Yeah.
So I had a chance to meet the RPH Games guys, the RPH game guy, and I bought a couple games from him. I've reviewed 1 or 2 of them. One of them was that really small, that really small pocket-sized card game. I think I did the other one too. Did we do the? I don't remember. There's a couple games I got from this is Usurp the King. I just get right into it, and it's up to 5-player. And what you see laid out here for you is the 3-player layout. So there are 3 colors, there are 3 families. This I'm using Quentin, Lemaire, and Sylvester, and there are 2 other families that are in the box here, and would be Hayhurst and Altham. Idea being here is this is a card game with it's got a couple of rounds, and you go through this, and the idea is you either end up with the king alive, the usurper alive, possibly the anarchist alive. It all depends on how the game plays out. The mechanics of the game are such that you play each of your families plays specific cards on the different types of court members. These are court members: the king and the usurper and the heir, the bastard, the anarchist, the queen, and the duchess. There's a few others. If there were more players, you'd have more of them around the table. You play these cards on the different court members, based on whether or not you want them to live or die or possibly change sides. They are two different sides that they start out with. They are either for the king or they are against the king, to make it very, very simple. And the mechanics of the game are not something that are as simple as I can possibly give you in the next few minutes. Trust me when I say you need to watch the two videos that RPH Games has put out. One they put out pre-release. This was a Kickstarter game. And the other they put out post. And both titles of those games are the same. Let me hold on a second. Let me just give you the titles. And they are How to Play Usurp the King. It's USURP. How to Play Usurp the Game, and it's DP. Did I say RPH Games?
Yes.
DPH Games. I'm very sorry about that, and I apologize to
Dan. Dan will kill us.
Yes, Dan.
Sorry,
I'm very
Dan.
sorry, Dan. I'm very sorry. I actually had it up to, and I wasn't even paying attention to what I was doing. Watch those two playthroughs, because this one of them handles setup, the other one handles playthrough, and this game is a lot of fun. And without me going into the playthrough, I've kind of shown you a little bit of how the setup works. I should also show you that there are these family cards that provide you with the steps throughout the game. So when you're in what was the very first process was not interrogation. I'm missing my instructions. The components, the deck, the setup. Rebellion. There's a rebellion phase. There's a intrigue phase, and then a rebellion phase. The intrigue phase is when you go around and you try to place the cards such that you either kill someone off, or you turn someone, or you take control of someone. And then the rebellion phase is when you play the cards out and they possibly work for you or can work against you. It all depends on how the cards work out. Each one of these family cards gives you a detail about how the different cards in your hand can work, and each family has the same sort of cards. You have an agent, you have an antidote, you have a betrayal, you have a book, and a book always contains something like a poison or a dagger, or you have bribery, you have conspiracy, there's the dagger, there's a guard. If you have a guard on a player, if I put a guard on a player, someone else puts a dagger, the guard takes the dagger instead of that player. Poison, if you hide poison in a book, when it's the book's turn to be played, if the poison is in the book, the person automatically dies. The spy can move cards, etc. It's a very, very, very interesting game, and I got to tell you, the first time I watched the playthrough, I was extremely confused. But they give you, like I said, they give you the family cards, but they also give you these really cool tutorial cards. How to win with the king, how to win with the usurper, what to do. Disgruntled court members. Keep disgruntled court members alive. Keep the usurper alive and under your control. Valued cards. Conspiracy and spy. Well, wait a minute. What if I wanted to win with the anarchist? What would I do? I would neutralize the usurper, the king, the heir, and the bastard. I would create ties for a number of court members by wreaking havoc. Encourage other players to eliminate the victory conditions above. Valued cards, spy, daggers, poison, agent, and so on. Very, very, very cool game. You'll play it out quite quickly, probably 30 minutes for a hand. And the idea being, and here's how you win. If your family card is the one that's on the usurper, and you've managed to maintain this chaos, then you're the one that wins. If the usurper is dead, but the king is still alive, and the members of the court are still valuable, then the king wins and you win. It's very, very, very cool game. I can't wait to get a chance to play it with some friends. Hopefully I get a chance to play it with some of you guys. But very fun. I think Dan told us when we were talking about this game. This is one of their most sought after games, and it's been one of his best sellers.
Mm-hmm.
And I completely understand why. Very, very attractive. Everything is very well made. The box that this comes in, Usurp the King. Okay, it's like a book. It sits on your bookshelf.
Nice.
You've got different tokens to decide whether or not they're on the king's side or the usurper side. The cards, extra places for other pieces, a little bit of advertisement inside the lid, but very well thought out, I think, and just a wonderful game. It's just a very, very attractive. Very attractive. Definitely, like I said, look up DPH games on YouTube. Look up the How to Play Usurp the King. Watch the pre-video, the one before the Kickstarter came out, and then watch the one that they have afterwards. They will very, very well describe to you how this game is played. Now, let me just tell you what BoardGameGeek.com says about this game. All right. So the specifics. Usurp the King 2022. Families behind the court use daggers, bribery, and conspiracy to vie for power. 2 to 5 players. Community is 3 to 5, best 4 to 5. So the more players, the better. 35 to 50-minute playtime, ages 13 and up. Weight is a little bit on the high side for what I like to present to you guys. 2.5 out of 5. But I honestly believe if you watch the playthrough videos 2 times, you'll get it. You'll totally get it, and this will not be a difficult game to play. First time through might be a little confusing. Look at all the cards, look at all your pieces, watch the first time, look at everything again, lay it all out for yourself, watch it again, you'll get it. You'll get it really, really quickly. Dan Hundy's, how do you pronounce his last? Hundix? Hundycz. Doing a horrible job. Last name. I'm sorry, Dan. He's been really nice to us too, so I really feel bad that I'm not doing him a better service. The king may be in trouble. The court that surrounds him contains subjects who seek power. Each player represents a player that will vie for control over subjects. Featuring 7 victory conditions, the path to victory may shift as you gain more information about each subject's motives and those of the other families. Your allegiances will twist and change based on your interest. The subjects are but pawns. Goes through a little bit, talks about the intrigue phase, the rebellion phase, and the scoring phase. Category: fantasy, medieval, political mechanisms, area majority, and influence. Family, crowdfunding, and Kickstarter. And that is our Board Game Geek breakdown. You can get copies of the game for $30. You can get them right from DPH Games. We got them at a show directly from the manufacturer, and I would suggest looking up your local game store. And if they do not have DPH Games, ask them why, because they need to. They have some very, very cool games.
100%. I would have to agree with that. And if that does it for you, Kev, I think that brings us right up to our first commercial break. Guys?
Sure. Yeah.
You're in charge.
All right.
I would hope so.
Nope.
We're not.
All right, get some Wolverine. We'll be right back.
All right. Stick with us, guys. We'll be right back with the news. Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a keyback issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore. Located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking, Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics.
Now, before you make whether you want to be a vampire or a werewolf a platform you run on for election, here's the news. First up, the broadcasting dead. AMC Networks, the home to tons of great original programming, appears to be shambling along like the zombies that call it home. They've notified their employees that they are about to lay off about 20% of their US-based workforce. They expected their losses due to cord cutting to be offset by streaming revenue from their AMC Plus app. I can't say I'm shocked. The app is a mess and it's very difficult to use. Now, the only thing that can save them is more Walking Dead spinoffs, of course. I mean, that's what they need. That are becoming a meme stock. You hear that, Wall Street bets? Get on this. Next up, Career Suicide Squad. Helena Bonham Carter has joined the very small club of Harry Potter actors who have publicly defended J.K. Rowling. Speaking to the Times, she said, "I think she's been hounded. It's been taken to the extreme, the judgmentalism of people. She's allowed her opinion, particularly if she suffered abuse." Carter continued, "Everybody carries their own history of trauma and forms their opinions from that trauma, and you have to respect where people come from and their pain. You don't have to agree on everything. That would be insane and boring. She's not meaning it aggressively. She's just saying something out of her own experience." The actress continues, "Personally, I feel my co-stars should let her have her opinions, but I think they're very aware of protecting their own fan base and their generation." Tom Felton and Ralph Fiennes have also defended JK in the public arena. One can only assume that she doesn't care about working again. She also defended Johnny Depp, saying he's been entirely vindicated. So, RIP Helena Bonham's career, right? I mean, she might as well have said the Holocaust didn't happen while she was at it. And finally, the horrors of our childhood. Remember a while back when I reported on the horror reimagining of Winnie the Pooh called Blood and Honey? This is a thing now. Announced in the past week, we have horror spins on How the Grinch Stole Christmas about to hit theaters and a bloody Bambi movie that reimagines the young deer as a killing machine. It's like Rob Zombie and Hugh Boll got high and started pitching direct-to-video horror movie ideas. The mean one, which is the Grinch one, stars David Howard Thornton of Terrifier fame, who we've met. The movie is being marketed as a parody, so most copyrightable elements can only be hinted at. The mean one hits theaters on December 9th, while Bambi: The Reckoning starts filming next year. I know you think I'm making this shit up, but I swear I'm not. And that's the news, kids. Now, I am preparing to celebrate my 46th birthday this weekend. We're going to have a nice dinner at Scotch and Sirloin. Normally, my wife cooks dinner and my mother-in-law comes over. This year, since we're keto, I just wanted to go out and get prime rib. We haven't eaten there in years. So on Thanksgiving, as everyone was leaving, I go and I invited my mother-in-law. I said, "Hey, do you want to? We're going to go to Scotch and Sirloin for my birthday, because usually she comes over for dinner. Do you want to go?" She immediately said, "Am I paying for myself or are you paying?" The awkward silence that followed ended up causing a bit of an issue. My wife had to call her later on and kind of smooth things over. In my head, I was thinking, yes, why don't I buy you dinner for my birthday? Because that makes sense. My wife pointed out, though, that we also pay for groceries when we have dinner at home. So it's really the same thing. I just, who would ask something like that? I mean, am I wrong for being taken aback? After thinking about it, I'm fine with it, but it was a bit bizarre. Oh, and I am fully prepared for when Kanye and Nick Fuentes show up to tell them we refuse to dine with them. Miss me with that anti-Semitic shit. Paul?
In other news, sarsaparilla is the root that flavors root beer. Back to you, Corbs.
That part of the 23 flavors?
That's
That's
Dr.
Dr. Pepper.
That's Dr. Pepper.
So you're trying to tell me that it's not part of the 23 flavors? Can you prove it?
Not at the moment.
We're not saying that it's not, but we are saying it's not for root beer because that's a different soda.
Fair point. All right. Well, I don't really have much for sports. Only thing I really kind of I got two things really. I found out that Jose Abreu, the first baseman for the White Sox, has decided to leave the White Sox. So their top player is now with the Houston Astros. Signed a 3-year deal this past week to become a Houston Astro. So I'm not too happy about that, but whatever. And then, other than that, we hinted about it in the opening round of what's got us geeked about the Saturday night thing. So we all convened at Mr. Showens' house. That would be Paul. And we watched the realism of the WWE, I guess,
Universe?
Survivor Series.
Survivor Series War Games.
Yeah, Survivor Series War Games. I hadn't really watched wrestling in 15 or so years fully. I mean, I'll turn it on and watch a match here or there, or whatever. Kind of watch some of the promos or whatever. But I've never really physically sat down and watched a pay-per-view in that long. It was different, not as bloody as I remembered. So
Last time you watched, were you watching ECW?
On TNN.
could have been.
Like,
Very
it
well
turned to
could have
Spike, didn't it? Yeah.
Very well could have been. It was during the Attitude Era. We'll leave it at that. You know, when wrestling was real.
You're gonna trigger Jack. Be careful.
Back when wrestling was real.
It's not real?
No, it's not real, Jack.
What the fuck have I been watching? No,
you
but
know,
what?
all I say to that, it's not real. Were those computer generated people out there? Were they not doing great athletic feats that none of us could possibly do?
It's real. It's real fun.
That's
Exactly.
for sure.
When you said you watched the Corbs, though, like you said 15 years ago, did you have a favorite wrestler when you grew up? Like a favorite one, or like what's?
I was a big fan of the Hardy Boys.
Okay.
Oh,
Jeff.
big surprise, but they're still around.
Well, they are, but I mean, I'm talking about during when they used to wrestle like Dudley Boys and Edge and Christian. You know, when they would throw themselves off of 15-foot ladders through tables, and you know, when during that crazy time when actually that was back when like tag team was kind of almost as big or even bigger at times than the single wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
So
back when Mae Young gave birth to a hand.
That's true.
I loved the Attitude Era too, but I have to say that, I mean, every era gets better in some ways. And just the story and the drama we saw Sunday night with the Bloodline and Sami Zayn, that entire match told a story.
Yes.
And I was talking to my wife about this, even though she didn't want to hear anything about it. They always talk about how wrestling is supposed to tell a story in the ring. Okay. And sometimes it's just the story of two guys fighting. Okay. It's really hard to tell a good story and pull it off right. It's incredibly difficult to pull it off at the level we saw Sunday night. A 35-minute match that had, you got to remember, it's not like English drama where people go, "You say?" and everyone's just like, it's built around physical altercations and the little things like Sammy pulling Jay out of the way that one time and saving a few times. There were spots in that match which would have, if this was a story, so a scripted drama, you say, those would be the points at which big things happen. That's a good wrestling match. And you missed this, Kevin, because you left. It's too bad you didn't get to see this. That match told a story. Like, I think the only other match that really sticks out in my head that told a story that well is Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes at the very first AEW pay-per-view when it was brother against brother. You're too old for this, you need to retire. That was another match that you could see the emotion, and it would help that they were actually brothers, and some of it might have been real. I was blown away by that match. Well, what are your thoughts, guys?
It was really good. And like you said, I mean, they clearly put a lot of thought into that one, so they could tell the story, and it carried over Monday night. We got a lot more of that, and like it didn't even have to. It wasn't about coming to blows Monday night. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't about the fighting. It was the actual drama from there, because we get basically the dissolution of 20-year friendship, like right there in front of the millions.
And millions.
Millions.
Easy rock.
Well, you know, you guys, some of you guys might not know this, but every single one of the matches we watch, whether it's on a pay-per-view or on TV, the matches actually have a producer, just like a TV
Mhm.
show. And that person is responsible for producing that match, making sure everything happens in the way they want it to tell the best story. A lot more goes into it. People think, you know, oh, just they're getting in the ring and wrestling. It's a lot more complicated.
Yeah,
No,
no, I
right.
don't think that at all.
No, but it was cool watching, like, because I'm slowly getting back into wrestling, because I just, like you guys just said, the Attitude Era. I just remember when I was a kid playing Nintendo, I was like, I want to be the guy with the pink pants, and believe it or not, that was Bret Hart. So I would
I knew that right away.
yeah, exactly. But like, and then King Mabel, Viscera was one of my favorite wrestlers. But growing up with the Attitude Era was great. But going to your Monday Night Raw thing was cool. Like with Kevin Owens, the guy's great on the microphone. He's like, I don't want to see you. I don't want to know you. I don't even want to know you. But he looks at it like Jey Uso. He's like, but I have a problem kicking your ass or something like that. I'm like, fuck yeah. It's like he tries to bring that back. So it's like what you said, Hugh, like the storytelling.
Yeah.
And
Paul, do you
Very good.
think since they already have gone in a direct, because everybody thought there was going to be a turn at a Survivor Series, that's what all the dirt sheets were saying. Do you think Triple H is smart enough to not even go there and just let this thing with Sammy play out way longer than anybody thinks?
I don't know. I'd like to see him seize that opportunity because everyone is already calling that shot. Sammy's going to turn on them, and it's going to end up being Sammy and Owens against the Bloodline for the titles at WrestleMania. Like, that's what everybody's saying in the sheets. That's what I'm seeing.
maybe it'll be a Royal Rumble or
I'd
something.
almost like to see when the bloodline comes to an end, Sammy's still there with them because it shows a commitment to the character and the narrative they chose. And he is perfect in that group because they're also damn serious. And I
He's
mean,
a
look at how
goofball.
many times, he makes them crack up in the ring when they're
Yes.
not supposed to. But
I could see with that. No, I didn't watch Monday night, but I could see maybe with that the bloodline turning on him, like they're saying that they're going to, and him having to save face and ask Kevin Owens
For help.
to be his partner again against them, or even for that matter, if he turns on him and they continuously like are jumping him and beating him up, and it'd be Kevin Owens is the one that comes back to save him, even though he said he doesn't want to be friends for 20 years. You know, they've been friends for 20 years. You know, it's like having a fight with a friend over something, and that friend, or if you're the one that's in the wrong, you having to go back to that friend and apologize to them and say that you were in the wrong. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That would be almost a real life something, and something happens in real life type of thing.
I get what you're saying. I just feel like we've seen that before. And either of them turning on each other, the reason everyone's saying it's going to happen is because that's the most predictable route. That's what happens in
Right.
every wrestling story. And that's what made the match at Survivor Series so great, because what we've come to expect didn't happen. In fact, it went so far in the other direction, I could see it going on for a long time. That's just me.
Like I did read somewhere Randy Orton had an injury setback, and I know Cody Rhodes' injury is very severe, but do we know how he's healing up, or do we think he'll be ready for a WrestleMania? I don't think Royal Rumble at all. Like, what's going on there? I know.
My
one knows.
prediction,
Go.
Cody's coming back at Rumble.
I
You
think so.
think
too.
number 30 or something like that?
I don't know what number, but he'll make a splash, and he'll immediately get thrown right back into the world title mix. Because I think that's what should have happened. I think we were discussing it on the way back from Wellsboro. Yeah.
And that's part of the reason I don't. Sammy turning on them, unless he teams with Kevin Owens, because I've also seen he's going to go against Roman. All that gets wiped out when Cody comes back. That's why I almost say, why do that? Keep Sammy there. If Cody takes the title off Roman at WrestleMania, you can still have a turn and Sammy versus Roman at any pay-per-view. And because how invested we are in it, it doesn't need a title involved.
Very true. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm getting slowly back into wrestling, but the world title for WrestleMania 39, you can do Roman versus Cody. But what you're saying, Sami Zayn is going to be with the Bloodline. I think at the Royal Rumble, he'll enter the Royal Rumble. Jay or like the Usos will be in the Royal Rumble, and then that's when he turns on them, and then you see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline, the Usos versus the tag titles at WrestleMania. That'd be pretty cool.
It could, and that does sound like what a lot of people are
Predicting.
theorizing. Yeah, that's what you get. Those two going for the tag titles. But what bothers me with that is they're not a natural tag team. Like, they could have been friends for all those years, but they're not a tag team. And I would rather, like, if someone's going to take the titles off of the Usos, it is a legit tag team. Like, guys who've worked together, that's their thing. Your Street Profits, the New Day, back in the day, Dudley Boys, those kind of guys. That's who I want to see do it. I want to see a pure tag team division instead of throw two superstars together and put a belt on them.
Yeah, but as from what I watch, and like I said, I don't watch it all that much anymore. I have started to watch a little bit more. There isn't really a tag division. I mean, you got the Street Profits and you got the Usos, but I mean, a lot of times it's just kind of two stars tagging together. I mean, they were doing that a lot with, like, you know, Cena would tag with Michaels or Triple H. They were kind of like almost before they had their match. They were teaming together in the pay-per-view before their match. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of times they would go against for the tag titles. The two guys are going to face each other at the next pay-per-view, the next big pay-per-view, whatever it be, Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, King of the Ring, whatever it might be. They would tag the one before, they would tag together for the tag titles, and they, you know, they coexist and all that happy horse shit.
Viking Raiders were good for a while. They on SmackDown, or
They're back.
Yeah.
They're back. They just came back.
Yeah, they're going in a new direction with them.
Yeah.
They're heels now, and they've got some chick who wears antlers.
And you've
I
got
can't-
Alpha Academy. Sarah Logan is the girl.
Thank
you're
you.
talking
That was
about.
the name I was looking for.
And I think we've got Riddle and not Ezekiel. What's his actual name?
Elias.
Elias.
Yeah,
it
'cause they're
looks like-
forming a band.
No.
They getting the band back together?
That's literally because
Do you
Riddle's
think,
got his
honestly, even though
bongos.
the Street Profits are a tag team, do you think Montez Ford? I've seen him fight single, and like the way he does his frog splash, he can get high up there. Do you think be a singles competitor eventually down the road?
I think down the road he would have a chance at a main event spot as a singles competitor. He's got that something. It just needs to be cultivated.
Like-
And clearly they don't have any faith in Dawkins without him because Ford's out hurt, so they take Dawkins off TV.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, because Montez versus Ricochet in a ladder match, because those guys are like, that would be kind of cool to see, but I don't know.
Yeah, that would be good. I'd like to see those two. I personally, I'm bored by Ricochet, but the kids love him.
He's great.
Just pretend he's the guy from The Walking Dead.
Which one?
Remember that?
Keith?
No, I thought, why am I drawing a blank on his name? The Kingdom. Is it Ezekiel?
Yes, King Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Yes,
Remember?
yes,
They
yeah,
look
yes.
alike.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Harry
Yeah,
Payne.
yep. Kevin, anything to add on this?
I was just wondering, do the wrestlers have anything to say about what they get to do, or is it all produced and then they're just actors?
I think they've got some input
They do.
Yeah,
on the match themselves, like, because they're the ones that have to go out and perform it. You can't have
Right.
you
So
can't
The
have
producer
Paul-
works with them.
The match, I understand that, but you know,
like the direction of their character and
showing
their
up, not
storylines. and all
showing
that.
up, you know, teaming up, not teaming up.
Well, yeah,
I don't
I
want to
mean,
work with that guy anymore. You know,
yeah,
it's-
they've had superstars walk out of the company.
Sure, no, that I understand. I can imagine. I mean, you know,
Overcreated-
actors
I mean,
quit all the time.
Overbooking, yeah.
Overbooking, creative differences.
Have your girl Sasha Banks. That's why she's
Yeah.
not around. They were getting booked in singles matches instead of defending their women's tag titles. So they were like, "Fuck this, we're gone."
Kev, your
They-
homework assignment this week is to look up the Montreal screw job and report back to us.
It's actually a lot different now than it was even at the beginning of the year, Kev, because when McMahon was in charge, he decided everything, and that's why a lot of the decisions didn't make sense. since Triple H has taken over because McMahon had to step down, he welcomes the superstars to have input. At the end of the day, he still makes the decision, but he works with them and listens to their ideas to try to further the story.
Well, no, right, and I get it. It's because I mean, now that I understand that there's actually a story behind it, there's a progression, right? There's always the good versus evil. There's the there's the failure, the triumph.
Yeah.
You've got to build it in order to keep your fan base and keep people interested. I didn't know where in that the actors themselves or the wrestlers themselves would actually get an opportunity to have any kind of input. But I guess once you create an identity for yourself, you kind of know what your trajectory is or have an idea of what that could be.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you see the picture, if you understand the bigger picture, then you could have some valuable input.
Well, the biggest thing they can do to control their narrative is connect with the crowd, because that's really if the crowd pops,
sure,
that really means you're getting a push to the top, or you're getting moved up the ladder. They're not going to do that for somebody who isn't getting a crowd reaction.
That makes sense. So like, when Rousey and some of the other girls came out, women, when they came out, some of them got a pretty big reaction,
Mm-hmm.
positive or negative. Some of them really, there wasn't really much of a reaction.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get that. I totally get that. Yeah.
And there's a lot of them. Continuing on with your question, Kev, there are a lot who have way more say in their characters than others. Like, as I understand it, Bray Wyatt right now basically has complete creative freedom to do what he wants to do. Like, they're telling him, do your shit, fucking get weird, and because that's what he does, and it works. Like, the man hasn't had a match since he came back, but he is already like one of the most over guys in WWE. Like, I believe he's already taken the #1 spot from Roman Reigns for merch sales.
Interesting.
So, I mean,
well, yeah, I mean, if you got a pull like that, I mean, you got to just kind of roll with it. Which it seems to me, this industry that we're talking about, the wrestling industry we're talking about, it just seems to me that they have the ability to be more fluid.
Yes.
Than a lot of entertainment might be, just simply because your brand is the personalities that make it up.
Mm-hmm.
So that I definitely look at it differently than I did when I watched it when I was much younger. Back when I was Jack's age, mentally, not physically. But I looked at it back then like it was real wrestling, right? Not that it was any of it was for show. That it was okay if these two guys are out there in a tag team match, they're going to really beat the hell out of the other guys. I don't know how much of it was show then, but I actually see it now. Now that I have seen how to make movies, how to make wrestling, how to all the behind the scenes stuff. I actually see pulling the punches. I understand the floor. I understand the breakaway props. I understand a lot of that stuff now. So it is interesting though. The personalities are very, and that's what makes it interesting. They're very interesting to see develop, and to see these wrestlers take on those personas. It's kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we'll ever get the green light for TV 14 ever again?
They already have, haven't they? WWE,
well,
didn't they already?
Well, they
I saw TV2G.
They were trying. The rumor was that they were going to go like months ago back to TV 14. I guess it's on the table, but they're probably concerned about advertisers possibly pulling. And to be honest with you, I don't know that it needs it. And I hate to say this because I was totally against the PG era, but here's the thing.
What's the argument?
If you don't have solid storytelling and solid characters, adding in some risque elements does nothing but cheapen your product. And you could just look at the worst parts of the Attitude Era, and you can see that, like Mae Young giving birth to a hand. That was ridiculous. The whole storyline with her and Mark Henry was awful. And it did them no favors that they could do it because they were TV 14 at that point.
Right.
I mean, if they go that route, I'm excited to see it, but it really just means a little more blood. I don't think you're ever going to see the level of sex that we saw in the past, because
No.
they need to know, for parents to know that they can bring their kids to these things and buy their kids the t-shirts.
Right.
And I honestly think that's made the storyline, the storytelling and the writing better than it was back in the Attitude Era. No offense, Jack. That was my era too. But I mean, back then it was drunk hates boss and beats him up. Now we have much more complex storytelling.
They are better storytelling, but it's kind of funny I bring that up too, because during Thanksgiving, my family's just fucking weird. But literally my mom remembers the TV 14. She didn't watch wrestling. She's like, is that sexual chocolate guy still there? I'm like, no, Mark Henry's not there anymore. But she knew it.
No, but he is an AEW now.
Yes.
And he has one line every week.
What is
it? Go ahead. Yeah.
What is it? Looks like that's enough talk. It's time for the main event.
And my favorite part of it is when Orange Cassidy's in the main event. And so they're doing it because they do the promo beforehand. And literally that is Mark Henry's line. Like the two will do their banner back and forth, and then he drops in picture to do his line. But Orange Cassidy, like the other guy will run his mouth, and then all of a sudden Orange Cassidy will pull out a microphone and do the line himself. And Mark Henry's like, no, that's my line. These are the kind of guys I like. I like the fucking weirdo wrestlers that are just unique and fucking weird. Like that Orange Cassidy who comes to the ring with his hands in his pockets. And Kev, you got to see him. Like he's one of them you got to look up and watch some of the shit he does.
Yeah.
He comes off as this slacker who doesn't give a shit, but he is one of the most athletic, talented guys I've ever seen, because he'll pull all these moves off with his hands in his pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Like him and Darby Allin.
Yes.
You like the weird ones, Paul, too. I remember when I was watching with my brother and my dad. My dad literally, we're like, where are you going? He's like, I'll be right back. He literally goes and gets a mannequin head and plays the Al Snow theme. So I was like, what does everybody want?
Another thing you won't see happen again. Like that will not come back around.
Fun.
Yes, that whole era was great, but there was so much fucked up shit that came out of it.
Yeah.
Someone should have done TVMA at least.
Oh. Nothing. Clearing something out of the way. Do we have anything else? Do we want to keep going on this, or we want to move on? Since apparently nobody wants a Geek Pod wrestling show.
I mean, we could do it.
Shut up, Jack.
Somebody's got to
I love it.
I mean, if you guys want to have a spin-off, that'd be great.
Shut up, Kev.
Kev, you can do the theme song. Kev, like, I don't know what this podcast is about, but enjoy.
Well, no, I won't be there. Have no fear.
Right. That's a whole different night.
No fear, Kev will not be here.
All right. Well,
I'm all for the get-togethers though, so we can still do that.
Perfect. Yeah, it sounds like that's gonna, because I'm watching them monthly at my house regardless. So it sounds like I'm gonna have more company now when we do it, and I'm okay with this. So
as long as there's pancakes next time.
I just want to see
Shut
you get
up,
out.
Corbs.
I just want to see you get out of the corner of that couch. Like you were struggling really hard towards the end. That was great. It was like Humpty Dumpty.
yes.
What are your friends' names that showed up and the woman went off with Kristen? What's her name?
Her name is Amelia.
Can you get Amelia to hang out next time?
Oh yeah, she's fun. Yeah, she's fun. She is a ball buster.
I just like what she does to her husband.
Yeah, she is awful to him. It's great. Yeah.
It's so fucking awesome.
I don't think he thinks so, but
I know he loves it.
Yes.
He wouldn't stick around if he didn't love it, because he don't just get that in fucking public.
Right. No.
It's worse at home.
Right.
Because his name's Mr. Amelia at home.
There's one pair of pants in that family.
Yeah, and she owns them.
She handcuffs his ass to the bed.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Moving on. I think it's time for Jack's Erroneous Questions of the Week.
All right. We're in the winter time and it's cold out. Let's do some winter themed questions.
Snowmobile.
There you go. Which city in the United States became the first U.S. city to host the Winter Olympics twice?
Twice. Well, it wasn't Lake Placid.
Denver.
Not Denver.
You said U.S. city, right?
Yep.
First U.S. city to hold.
Tell me what your guesses are. Yeah.
So I'm thinking Salt Lake City.
No.
I'm gonna say Lake Placid, but I know
Yes.
that's not right.
Lake Placid is correct.
But when was the first one?
36 or something like that.
I don't know the year, but we know 1980, of course. But
Well, 80. But there was
Okay.
that was the second one, right?
yeah, they hosted it twice. Lake Placid was the first city.
I was gonna say
Oh,
Lake
I
Placid.
thought-
That's
Okay, all right. I knew they had it twice. I didn't know they were the first or the first to have it twice. Okay.
How did they deal with the crocodiles, though?
They put them in the
The
pond before the
alligators.
freezes?
Well, this
Okay.
one,
1932 was the first time they hosted it.
Okay.
1932, so 1932 and 1980.
Yep.
Okay. So everybody work together. I want multiple guesses here. You don't get one guess because this is, if you get it on the first try, I'll be impressed. I knew this one because I took this class in history. So Russia became the Soviet Union. What were the years the Soviet Union was in Russia? So what year did it start and what year did it end?
Oh, fuck.
I love it.
So the beginning and ending of the USSR.
Yeah. Work together.
The beginning was, well, it was pre-World War II, but it was
Yep.
post.
I will nod to these. I will nod to these, so I'll help you out. Yes.
It was post World War I, so it's between World War I and World War II.
Yep.
I don't know
So-
what the exact year would be though.
1936.
Is it 30s?
I'll give
Maybe-
you a
maybe-
hint. The
maybe
Russian
early-
Tsar abdicated from the throne in 1917. So
So
And then-
1918.
no.
No.
19.
No, that's not much of a hint then, is it?
1920,
Higher.
24.
Lower.
22.
22.
Oh,
You
really?
got the year the USSR started, 1922.
Really? That long? Okay. Okay.
And then,
And then-
2004.
I was gonna say they broke up.
No, no. I
Um,
was thinking the Berlin Wall.
Yeah.
was
So
Berlin
that would
Wall. Yeah, if you think about that a little bit.
Well,
think of the
because
year
I know when
it's
that was, because that was I was getting out of the service, and that was 2000. It was. Hold on.
Think of the
When-
presidents a little
when
bit.
in 87.
I was going to say, wasn't Reagan president when that happened?
Yep.
No, 90. It
Oh.
was 90 or 91 when the Berlin Wall came down because I was supposed to be in Germany.
88.
88. Yeah, I was gonna say it's 88.
88.
Yeah, it came down in 88. So I'm going to say 1990 for the dissolving of the.
88, huh?
I'm
Come up
going to
with
say
one more
92.
answer. Okay. So do you want to have one full answer and then, or do you just want to come up with different answers? You can if you want, but
Yeah,
I'll-
whatever. I'll go with whatever they say.
I say 1980, 1990.
and you say 1992, Paul, right?
Yes.
Hugh, do you want to take a guess?
I don't have any fucking idea.
All I have to say is 1922 to Kevin. You need to have confidence in your answers. 1922 to 1991.
So
Yeah,
See,
you're
well-
spot on with your
well,
answers.
the reason why I remember when the Berlin Wall came down is because I was supposed to be in Germany. So I joined the United States Army for 4 years. I went in 1987, 6
Mhm.
days after I graduated from high school. Now I was supposed to go to Germany. I came down on orders for Germany. I had 4 years left of my, or 4 months left of my first 2 years, right? So that would put me in 1989. So what happened was I had already had a reenlistment briefing. I know none of you guys even give a shit about this.
I
I
can.
had a reenlistment briefing where I said I wasn't really interested in reenlisting. To go to Germany, it was a 2-year tour minimum. What would have happened, what I would have had to extend for 4 months or reenlist. So they pulled my orders for Germany because I already said I wasn't going to reenlist. At that time, they were decommissioning all sorts of non-commissioned officers from the European theater who were stagnant. They weren't training, they weren't advancing, they weren't doing anything, and they weren't assigned. So they were coming out. So they weren't sending anybody else over there. Well, and then I found out, this is after shit hit the fan. Then I find out I would have been in fucking Germany for the fucking Berlin Wall coming down.
We could have seen you in the
Missed it.
crowd.
Nah, I don't know about that, but I would have been in the country. I don't know that I would have actually been there, but I would have been in country. We probably would have been pulling freaking guard duty or some shit.
But you could have probably had a piece of the Berlin Wall or something like that. You could have smuggled it back.
Now, that would have been fucking cool as shit.
Yeah, it would have.
Back
Very
to you,
cool.
Paul.
Thanks. All right. Well, I think that throws us right back to commercial, and we'll wrap this thing up. What do you say, guys?
You don't have a topic?
Oh shit! Thank you, because it doesn't show
I
that
was
way in there.
about to say the same thing. Like, you forget about the freaking weekly topic.
I did, which is funny because it was the very first thing that I wrote for the show notes this week. All right, going in a different venue here, so there's no wrong answer for this. You guys ready? This week's weekly topic is: what is the best cartoon ever? The boys will answer when we come back.
I got it.
Stick with us. Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a key back issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore. Located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking, Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics. And that theme means it's time for our weekly topic. Now, let me reiterate. What is the best cartoon ever? Go.
I've got an answer.
I've got an answer. And unless yours is the same as mine, yours is wrong.
I got
Well, all right then. I will go first because I don't want to be I don't want mine to seem reactionary because I have a very strong opinion about the best cartoon ever.
Okay.
Here it is. It's not just one cartoon, it's an entire genre of cartoons. And it is the Looney Tunes cartoons of my childhood. Those Looney Tunes cartoons that had all of those hidden adult overtones that we laugh at today and did not understand back then. Best cartoons ever.
All right.
All right. I'll say that's a really good answer. You have a good point there. But I'm gonna go and say the very best cartoon of all time is Batman the Animated Series. Without any question. I mean, it also had sometimes dealt with adult themes and sometimes not in a way the kids couldn't understand. They just might not grasp. But it was just so well done. And while it did spawn a universe of other series, and those other series were good, Justice League was great, but those kind of watered it down and made it more towards kids. Whereas Batman the Animated Series was almost felt like an extension of Tim Burton's original first two Batman movies.
And it was designed that way. I mean, it was a primetime cartoon first.
Yeah.
Like that's what they started with. I remember watching that at like 8:00 at night on Fox when it first came on. Yes.
And then Hugh, to your point, R.I.P. Kevin Conroy recently.
Yes.
So, I was gonna say that one, but you beat me to it. So I'll go different. One of my favorite, I guess you can call, because I grew up with Nickelodeon. How about Doug on Nickelodeon from 90 to 93? Billy West, amazing voice actor by far. and his best friend Skeeter Valentine, that's green. Patty Mayonnaise, that is black with blonde hair. Mr. Bone, the principal. The Honker Burger, like they're just like funny names for stuff. But they had like some nice little family morals and all that stuff. But I know I'm competing with Looney Tunes and Batman the Animated Series and all that.
All those names you just threw out has made it sound like you were having a stroke or something. I didn't understand any of that.
Skeet.
Black mayonnaise? What?
Patty
Green
mayonnaise.
Skeeters?
That I know.
But yeah, though, like that was a cool show to watch though, because it was a classic Nickelodeon show. Billy West, he's also the voice actor in Futurama, all that stuff. He's done so many good things. Roger Klotz was the bully in the show. Yes, I know I'm rivaling your good shows. Like your shows are like 9.0 or 9.3. Probably Doug has got like a 5.4 review, but it's still a pretty damn good show.
It's your favorite. That's all that matters.
My favorite still is I like Batman the Animated Series. I like that one. That's my
There
favorite.
you go.
It's still my favorite show. of
You
all
know,
time.
you should have just stuck with your answer. Yeah, just because if we had the same answer, that means we both have good taste. That's okay.
I know, but I wanted to have a different answer.
Corbs.
Go, Jack.
Oh, Jack. For me, it's gonna be Bugs. I love Bugs Bunny, Looney Tunes, like Jeff said. I mean, all that Bugs Bunny, Elmer Fudd, all Daffy Duck and stuff like that. I mean,
Tom and Jerry. Oh,
yeah.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yosemite Sam.
Marvin the Martian.
Yep. Oh,
all
yeah.
of it.
Yeah,
All of
it was fantastic. I still watch it. Another one that I watched. My son was watching it when he was little. Was Phineas and Ferb.
Oh, that was a good one too.
So that was always fun to watch. Him and I would watch it together. They had two episodes in a half hour, so 15-minute episodes around. They were always fun to watch and stuff like that. But I mean, anytime there's a Bugs Bunny cartoon on or Looney Tunes cartoon in general, I would definitely watch that. And I mean, the Flintstones are up there too. You know, I remember used to watching the Flintstones early in the morning before work or when you got home from school. They would be on TBS or whatever. So, but yeah, those are the ones that I do enjoy the Bugs Bunny ones. They're fun to watch and whatnot. So
yes,
Bugs Bunny was always the cool guy, and like Daffy Duck was the one he was always making fun of, and it was pretty neat. What you got, Paul?
All right, Paul, what's the right answer?
they're all right answers. It's subjective. You can't. There is no wrong answer. But my right answer is Steven Spielberg's Freakazoid.
Whoa, okay.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Oh my god, you guys have to look it up and then you'll thank me.
No, I don't.
Yes. Between that and The Tick, we watched that throughout college
That was
and got
good.
so fucked up and laughed our asses off. Freakazoid is, I actually think it's a parody off of the superhero genre of the 90s from the Batman ones and all that. Completely new character that they created for it. He got his powers from the internet. Something went wrong when he was trying to surf the internet and it zapped him and basically gave him a split personality. He was a nerd named Dexter Douglas, and he would shout his phrase of "Oh, freak out," and he would turn into the Freakazoid. Had all these stupid powers, and everything was just fucking ridiculous and hilarious. He would do all this dumb shit, say these dumb things. One of my favorites, it was called the Dance of Doom, and he's fighting basically an erudite caveman. He's supposed to be a caveman, but he's extremely well spoken and high class and all that. And they're fighting in the middle of a prom. And at one point, he busts into just this ridiculous song that shuts everybody up around him. And like it was very self-aware, so everyone was very clear that he's just a fucking idiot. And Ed Asner was one of the characters in it. He played the sidekick named Cosgrove. He was literally, it was Ed Asner. Like the character was drawn just to be Ed Asner, but as a cop. And so he played the straight man on all this shit. It was fucking ridiculous. You guys have to see it. It may be one of those that we might have to get together and have a few drinks and watch a few episodes, because of course I own the entire series on Blu-ray. Because why wouldn't I?
How long did it last for?
2 seasons.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a kids WB show that, again, like all of the humor went completely over the kids' heads. So
Those are the best
Mhm.
animated. I mean, when they do stuff like that, because that's how it appeals to multiple generations, and it spans across different, different types of viewer, what different things viewers are looking for. I'm not sure what you would call that, but kids will get it because it's funny and they jump up and down and whatever, but adults will get it because they get the humor, and
right.
it's,
It has very
I
broad
love that stuff.
demographics.
I love that
Yes.
stuff.
It's
I
the
love that
subliminal
stuff.
messaging too, because I remember I got Rocco's Modern Life, another show I grew up with at Nickelodeon. I know you guys probably never seen it, but like you're watching it and Rocco needs a job in one episode, and you're watching as a kid, like, oh, this poor guy needs a job. But like in one of the episodes, he's like, oh baby, oh baby, oh baby. In the
He was-
background, it says, yeah, be naughty, be and all that stuff. So he's a sex phone operator.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
And he's calling his like neighbor, and the neighbor's like Rocco, and she's like, oh God, gotta go.
Speaking of cartoons, that was a good topic, Paul.
Thanks.
I almost sent you guys a screen grab from this week's Rick and Morty, but I couldn't find. Well, not a screen grab. I tried to look for a picture, couldn't find it. I'm giving you these updates, Paul, so maybe you'll actually finally get back into it to see what you're missing.
Mhm.
This week, Rick being fed up with all of these supervillains from all over the universe just randomly showing up to fuck with him because he's the smartest guy in the universe, and they think if I can take him down, I'll be famous. And they get some random examples of that, why he's getting irritated as he faces off against the Pissmaster and Cookie Magneto. That's what I was going to send you. He's got dressed like Magneto with a chocolate chip cookie right here. He controls cookies and all things that people generally agree are cookies. That's his superpower.
That's fucking great.
You got to watch, man.
Yes, I have to circle back to that. And speaking of things that I'm extremely far behind on, guys, what are you watching other than cartoons?
I got a long list.
I see this.
Go for it.
Go first, Kev?
All right, so let me just run through this real quick. I just got to grab my list down here. Get it up here. I don't want to miss anything. So, all right, so we talked about it. We talked about some stuff we were watching last week. We finished up Andor, and I finished up Russian Dolls. I had a friend at work, Paul, Dave, actually watched both seasons of Russian Dolls. Liked it a lot. They're same thing. They got it in the first season, got addicted to it, and blasted right through it. Thought the second season was a little far out, but that's okay. It was, the actress, the writer is far out, so that's fine. So, but here's the other stuff. So the other stuff, Kathy and I picked back up on Umbrella Academy season 2. Whatever. I mean, if you're into the Umbrella Academy, you probably like it. We're struggling. We are struggling to watch these because it's just like so far out there that I really don't care. But we're gonna muscle through it and see what happens. Enola Holmes 2 came out. It's fantastic. I mean, Millie Bobby Brown is freaking fantastic, and the storyline is really good. Her interactions with Superman, what the fuck's his name? Henry
Cavill.
Very, very good. He's not in it so much that it becomes about him. He just plays a very small role, and he's in and out of it enough so that he's there. And I'm not going to ruin it for you. She makes it very clear that she is distinct and separate from him, and it's very, very, very good in that respect. One that I may not have mentioned before, Warrior Nun is back finally. Kathy and I started watching. We watched the first season, I want to say before COVID, and it's been this long since this second season has come out. Very, very good. I don't know if any of you are religious at all, or have read the Bible, or understand the different stories related to, how different angels may have fallen from their post, but it kind of uses some of those ancient stories, and it follows the story of a bunch of nuns that have been sworn to protect people, and they're fantastic. The ladies that play these parts, they're absolutely fantastic. It's fun to watch, and it's just a story that's out there, and it's a good time.
Is it
Where can you
based off
find
of a
that?
comic book?
I don't know. Could be.
Where can you find that, Kev?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's on Netflix. Yep. Really, 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 really good. We like the first season a lot. Second season is kind of picking up from the first season, and they're kind of picking up pieces. I'll just leave it at that and let you kind of dive into it if you want to. The very last thing I wanted to mention was Ancient Apocalypse.
I've been watching that.
Have you? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I knew going into it that the entire scientific community thinks this guy's crazy.
Yeah.
And I will say, while he brings up some interesting ideas, if you go and start Googling immediately after the episode, you also find that there's a lot more holes in his theories than he kind of lets on. But entertainment-wise, it still is very interesting.
Let me give you guys the and this is a not even a 10,000 foot overview. This is a 100,000 foot overview. This guy's a reporter. He's not a scientist, and he says that very clearly. I am not a scientist. Scientists think he's a crackpot. They think he's a fucking crackpot. But he's been talking about his not theories, but the way that he has connected scientific findings, real stories, real happenings, real geographic locations. The way that he has connected these things, he's been doing this for like 30 plus years. And he's been talking about it for that long. What he believes is that 10,800 BC, right after the very last ice age that we had, that there was a significant event that happened very quickly that turned it from ice age into an apocalypse, basically, that rewrote the entire planet that we know, the surface of it, just rewrote it. His belief, and he goes through how he figures this out, is that there was an ancient civilization that they survived the ice age, or no, he actually says it. He believes they survived the ice age, but their city or their, where they were from didn't. So after, or if it did, it was different afterwards. But what happened was they all separated, and they traversed the globe to pass on the science that they understood. And part of that is predicting the next ice age. I'm telling you, the way he ties this stuff together, by the time you get done watching the end of it, you're like, man, that's a great story. I wonder if it's true. It was worth it. I just got into it. Kathy watched like the last episode or two of it, and she stood there with her mouth open. She's like, what? But I mean, like you said, if you watch it and then you go, everything he's saying is just, he's picking, he's cherry picking from information that's out there, and he's kind of putting things together. The scientists just blow his theories apart.
Yeah, and one of his big issues with it as well is that because he can make this argument, they're refusing to even look at it, because basically they're saying civilization started here. He says, I think maybe it started earlier, and here's why. And they're not even going, oh, well, that's an interesting idea, let's look into it. They're just like, you're crazy. And he talks about how they're controlling history and controlling information. So it's a bit of a conspiracy nut too. But he might not be wrong.
Well, that's just it. He might not be wrong. And that, like you said, that's exactly the point he's trying to make, is that if these people are actually scientists, why are they not even considering the possibility that it might be something different than what they have all settled on, and they just don't question anymore? Yeah, it's interesting.
No, what is this on? Is that a Netflix show?
Netflix. Yeah, Netflix.
Very, very interesting.
Yep. He's a friend of Joe Rogan's. I probably don't need to say anything more than that.
That's
nothing good or bad about Joe Rogan, but you got to have a certain kind of personality to be one of his buddies.
This is true. All right. Anybody else?
I watched the first 2 episodes, and actually got renewed today, right before we got on our podcast, Tulsa King. So like now I need to get Paramount Plus. Corbs is right. I'm fucked. So, but they're running a special where you get it like for $1.99 a month right now. Yes, it's Sylvester Stallone. He's playing gangster, but I dig it. I like it. So like literally at the end of the episode of the second episode, like he literally starts crying. And I'm like, yes, I know actors cry, they're acting, but I like Sylvester Stallone. I really like how he does this. So like it actually, like the ratings actually, believe it or not, I was surprised. They beat House of Dragon, the Game of Thrones show. They like killed the Paramount Plus records. I thought this would have only been a 1 season because I really honestly thought it was going to have to end after 1 season because I can't see Stallone getting typecasted into a show because he doesn't like to do that stuff. He's an action movie star. So,
but
yeah, go ahead.
Didn't we talk about this already? He gave an interview. He actually gave an interview. He wants to do this.
Yeah, we talked about it Saturday night.
This is exactly what he wants to do. He went looking for this.
Yeah, and it's very well done. Like and he gets to do it his own way, and I'm like, because I don't want to spoil it for people if they still want to watch it. But like, if you like Stallone and you like what he does, like, yes, I don't watch Yellowstone like Kevin Corbs, and that's supposed to be a great show, and it's great from what I hear. But this is good. This really entertains me, so I like it.
It's
This
not
is
for
what?
everybody. It's not for
What?
everybody.
This is what? The Sofa King? What?
Tulsa King.
Tulsa King.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the last, and I'll keep it
It's not
short.
the Sausage King.
Yeah, Sausage King of
Hey,
Chicago.
Froman.
Oh, I should have wore that shirt tonight.
Oh,
What was it? Last thing, football related. Eagles are 10-1. Watching football, gotta each go week by week. But Corbs, this is for you. There's free safety Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, lacerated kidney, so he's out for the. Yeah, like I had to look. Like I went into work on Monday. Yes, I could have Googled it, but it's kind of cool. I work at a hospital. I was like to my doctor, so how bad is a lacerated kidney? He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, is that bad? He's like, you get that usually when you get in car accidents. I'm like, fuck. So
You know that Chris Sims, the quarterback, Phil Sims' son, had that and continued to play.
Damn.
He didn't realize it when he came off the field. He had lost like, I want to say like a third of his blood. Like he was bleeding internally. Did not know it. They took him to the hospital. When they got there, they told him that if he had waited another couple hours, he would have been dead.
Wow. Yeah, like the safety, literally he got off the field. He's like gets on like the cart and he's like literally going like this when he's on the cart. I'm like, he looks like he was gonna cry. I'm like, oh my God, it looks so
What did he get hit hard?
Oh my God, he got nailed. He like got slammed right into the other player, like at full speed. And and the injury is called lacerated kidney. It's not over for the season, but he's out for a while. He leads the league in the interceptions too. So I'm like, I don't know. Next man up, there's a guy named Reed Blankership. So Mike Tirico said, you sunk my Blankership when he got an interception. So I was like, that's kind of funny. So I'm like, that's kind of
Well, I'll keep it short. This week, my daughter did something that none of you have ever been willing to do. We're sitting there watching TV, and randomly, out of the blue, I'm like, let's throw on Supernatural episode 1. And my daughter's like, okay. My daughter, who watches everything over her phone, stopped and has been watching Supernatural, like actually watching it. Like it gripped her, and she, like, we sat down and watched 3 episodes last night. We're lucky if we can get through 1 episode of TV without her wanting to go play games.
Nice.
So that's how good it is. She's just blown away by it. Also, been watching Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities. Pretty good. Some uneven episodes. It's an anthology show, but it's worth checking out.
Okay.
Very cool. The only thing that I've gotten a chance to do is finish Walking Dead. I finally finished the main series. Has everybody watched that? Who's watching the show?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Am I the only one thinking that final episode was just meh?
Well,
Yeah.
you're expecting the end of a series, and it's not the end of a series.
Right. But that's also what I found odd was they didn't really springboard the shows that are coming. Like
Well, no, they did. They did.
They
I
did.
expected more out of it.
Daryl got sent off, and Maggie, kind of hinted that she might need Negan for something in the future. I think that the issue is at the time they were making this show, they hadn't fully fleshed out those spinoffs. They just knew what they were going to be.
Okay.
Because remember, they finished filming this last episode like last year at this time.
This is true. Okay. Yeah, I didn't take that part into account. But it was at least enough where, unless they reshot the ending, where they clearly established that Daryl was on his own and not going with what's her name? Because originally that was the plan, right?
Yeah.
And then she just
Yeah,
didn't
they were
want
gonna
to
go
go
together.
to Europe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't disappointed. I mean, it wasn't a bad hour of TV considering what it's
Hour and a
given us
half.
an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Considering what they've given us in the past, it was if you were looking for season finale level Walking Dead, you would have been disappointed because we didn't get that, but they did tie up as much of the story as they could and set the stage for what's coming next. And I mean, honestly, I remember when we used to watch a season finale of Walking Dead, we get all nervous because we didn't know who was going to die. It was kind of nice to not be stressed out about that for once. And I mean, the one person that did die, I mean, didn't really care about. So
right. I didn't really care.
But it gave nice moments for Eugene and Gabriel.
Yes. Yeah, it did.
I don't know. I was really looking forward. Hopefully the ending would fast forward. Even though we know these spinoffs, it would have been kind of cool. Like I know they couldn't do like the graphic novel, but how
Well,
Judith,
no, they threw that out the window years ago.
I know, but Judith was narrating the last couple episodes. But it would have been kind of cool. You see it draw back.
Well,
Judith
they filmed that. They filmed that. You haven't seen that in the news? They actually filmed a flash forward ending before they knew what they were going to do.
Oh, they do
really?
With an aged up Judith and RJ.
They do have an old Judith like reading like to like a grandson.
I don't know exactly what it was. She was aged up. They were driving in a car, going to look for people, kind of like continuing the
right
story, like a road trip. But I think the reason that they didn't do that is they have a great actress for Judith. This is not the last time we're going to see her. They don't want to end her story because this is all. I think they're going to do these spinoffs and everything's going to circle back to something for the main story. I think they will put a proper cap on it at some point. So they kind of need to leave all of those options open.
Okay.
Do you guys, after The Walking Dead, watch Talking Dead with Chris Hardwick? Because he did a great job on Talking Dead for the series finale. He had all these actors on, and I'm like, he handled that great. That was very good.
I've never watched it. I've been told I should have been all along, but never did.
It wasn't bad. I did watch it. I watched it because I wanted to see. I actually wanted to see who was on. That's all. I wanted to see who came on and whatnot. So, I mean, there was a couple of surprises.
Nice.
Lori came back.
Nice.
Yeah. So Carl
Chandler Riggs,
he came back. So
Did he? Nice.
he was actually in the final episode.
yes, he was.
He was.
Yep.
It was
Yes,
cool.
there was
Not as Carl. He was a farmer in the background.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, he came to visit the set on the final day of filming, and Greg Nicotero was like, "Here, throw this hat on and go over there and pretend you're gardening, just to get him in there."
Yeah.
That's cool.
But it was cool though when you watch like Talking Dead, like they had the commercials. They had Andrea, the girl that played Andrea, and she was a lawyer on the show. And they were like, "Do you need representation?" But she's shown as like a zombie and all that.
She had the bite mark on her neck.
Yeah, she had the bite mark on her neck. It was perfect. It was really cool. Like she's like, "I'm all dead now, so I can't help you. Have a good day."
You guys are making me all misty over here, like I'm missing The Walking Dead.
I know.
Well, I mean, it's all there now. You can go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, I won't.
I probably won't either.
Literally, that's all I had though. Like, that's the only thing I've had a chance to watch. Is like getting caught up on Walking Dead and finishing that, getting ready for next year for all the spinoffs, basically. So
You got anything, Corbs?
No, I finished up watching Endor.
nice.
I powered through that. 2 episodes Thursday before I went to my brother's, and then so I was on 4, so that got me to 6, and then 6 episodes
Nice.
5 episodes on Friday. So I watched it. I definitely binged it. So But I enjoyed it. It was good. I did see that it's going back for a second season, so and we obviously talked about that on Saturday night when we were all together. So looking forward to that. So that's about it.
All right. That's my next one, is that I'm making a concerted effort to finish. Yeah.
Don't forget the after credit scene.
Yeah,
Yes.
watch the I watched the last episode twice.
And we say after credit, we mean after.
Like all the way after? Okay.
Yeah.
Like if the credits are like 7.5 minutes long or whatever they are, you have to watch until the very end
Nice.
of those credits. I was like watching,
Yeah.
like, where's this end credit scene?
Yep,
It literally is at the end of the credits.
so worth it.
Okay.
So
Very
worth
Yes,
cool.
I agree, Kevin. It's so worth it.
I can't wait.
it.
Probably only a few more weeks. you know.
Wow.
After Christmas or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Christmas 2025.
So this isn't going to give anything away, but it ties up Andor pretty well. I saw a meme, and I don't typically talk about memes. This was funny. Guy was setting up dominoes, and he starts with a little tiny domino, and the last one is this huge door-sized domino. The very first one is two guys beat up Cassian Andor. Two security guys beat up Cassian Andor. The very last one, the Death Star blows up.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And of course, I
Outstanding.
watched Yellowstone too. So
You enjoying the new season?
I love it. Absolutely love it.
Nice. And there's yet another spin-off coming, right?
1923. I was mistaken when I said that it was. God, who the hell that is?
Harrison Ford?
No, that's who it definitely is. Yeah.
Oh, it was Tom Hanks. I said Tom Hanks was doing it. And it's Harrison Ford's going to be in it.
Right.
Him and Helen Mirren are in it. So there's a couple guys in it. Harrison Ford, Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren's a guy.
Yeah.
This week.
I did not know that about her.
She's
Him. Sorry.
She's brought
Don't
actress.
cancel me.
She's
She's
a
a bright
fine
actress. She
looking
can do it
actress.
James Badgedale or some whatever the hell his name is. He's in it. Somebody else is in it too. I can't remember. Timothy Dalton.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's going to be in it too. So
That's funny.
yeah, he plays. It's Harrison Ford is the Dutton. He's John Dutton, and then Timothy Dalton's character is like the guy who owns the farm next to him, and he's like a wealthy guy. He's trying to come in and take over everything, and it goes to show how they protect their land. So
Nice.
yeah, so it looks pretty good. That's going to be on Paramount Plus. So unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to end up
You got
bringing
to
it
play.
for Paramount Plus. So
Corbs,
They
you
got
buy it,
ya.
and then I'll bum it off you. I'll pay you 99 cents.
All right.
All right. I think that about wraps it up, doesn't it, boys?
Okay.
sure. Are you going to drop
Okay.
your nugget? Or...
Yes, sir, I am.
Drop your nugget individually.
My personal style these days can best be described as I didn't expect to get out of the car. Good night, everybody, and megabyte me, bitches.
This has been a GeekPod Network production.